Hi, I'm Stephen Pryor. I serve as the state's Commerce Secretary, and I bring greetings on behalf of Lieutenant Governor Sabina Matos. She is going to be joining us today, but she's not with us just yet. She'll be joining shortly. I'm very pleased to be kicking off today's broadcast. We are so grateful to the Lieutenant Governor for continuing the forum that this is for small business, regarding small business issues, taking questions, answering questions, and putting key issues out there. We continue to see a strong recovery in Rhode Island. A strong recovery, however, does not eliminate the fact that across the whole country, it's an uneven recovery, and small businesses tend to be behind the overall economic recovery, and businesses led by professionals of color and women tend to also be lagging behind. And we need to ensure that we continue to boost such small businesses, including all of our businesses. So that's what this broadcast is about. Let me just express that hold on one second, that the small business environment is our focus. The economic recovery is in Rhode Island in the top 10 in the whole United States. Moody's continues to rank us in the top 10 of the 50 states for the strength and pace of our recovery. And I'm pleased to report that yet again, Rhode Island is number one in the whole Northeast for its recovery. Compared to all the other states in the Northeast, ours is the strongest recovery. We are not the laggard. We are leading the way out. But again, we are not taking for granted that small businesses are recovering, and we need to keep doing more. Our unemployment rate, I will note, is a strong 3.4%, meaning that it is low, a real achievement. And we've seen the fourth lowest, that is to say, the fourth greatest decrease, the fourth biggest drop in unemployment in the COVID era among the states in the country. Yet another sign that ours is a very strong recovery, Lieutenant Governor, and welcome to your own show.
Nice to see you. Thank you. Good seeing you.
Great to see you. And ma'am, would you like me to complete?
Keep going. Keep going. This is good information. Thank you so much.
Got it. That's the overview. Strong recovery. Small businesses need a boost. And Lieutenant Governor, what I'll do is I'll just transition right into some very specific updates.
Yes.
In our Rhode Island Rebound Small Business Grant Program, we are continuing to process every single day checks that are going out to small businesses that have completed their $5,000 application or their $2,500 application. So we're well over 1,000 that have been paid or in process already. But the biggest bottleneck for small businesses remains the federally required federal registration. That's true across the whole country. It's called sam.gov. For those small businesses that are in the Rhode Island Rebounds process and are seeking payment, and if you just don't know where you stand, or if you know that you're still getting through sam.gov, we have a few tips. So, Lieutenant Governor, I'm going to drive straight into those.
We're going to take notes right now.
Yes. So first of all, one of the issues that small businesses are facing across the whole country is that they're registering with sam.gov and they're marking their application or their registration as private. It's understandable that a business would want to do that. They might think, well, if I have the choice, I'd rather keep my information to myself. But that means that programs like ours, Governor McKee and Lieutenant Governor Matos' Rhode Island Rebounds, that we cannot see that you've registered, which is necessary for us to proceed with your check. So if you feel comfortable, please set your sam.gov to public. You can go back in and set it to public, which will allow our processors to find you and work on your grant application. Now, if you do not feel comfortable marking your sam.gov registration as public, please download a PDF copy of your sam.gov registration and email it. And Ben, let's go ahead and put up there rismallbiz@commerceri.com. If you would, again, let me repeat, if you don't want to make your sam.gov registration public, but you do want to receive your check from us, you've been through our process, please download a PDF copy of your sam.gov registration and email it to the email address on the screen, rismallbiz@commerceri.com. Now, if you have your sam.gov number and haven't added it to your application for Rhode Island Rebound small business grants from our McKee Matos administration, please log into your application at commerceri.corerelief.com. Ben just put that on the screen for us. Please log in at commerceri.corerelief.com if you have not added yet your sam.gov number to your application, and please place that number in your application so we can process you. And enter your sam.gov number on your business information page. Please make sure to click yes to the question, does your business have an active sam.gov registration? If you do, so we can find it, and you've heard what I say, and enter the sam.gov number in the blank. Again, you've heard what I said about if you don't have public registration, we want you to do the things I mentioned before, which is at a minimum, send us the PDF of your registration. Now, if you're wondering, if you've heard all of that and you're wondering, well, how do I download my sam.gov registration record to PDF it? You can go into sam.gov and there's a series of steps. Start by clicking workspace and it'll take you through a series of steps. I'm not going to go through those now. I don't want to make this more detailed or confusing.
Yeah.
I will note this. Email rismallbiz@commerceri.com.
Ben is going to help us again with that.
Put that back up there, Ben, if you would, the email address. And ask us questions. Just say, listen, I'm here in my process. Can you help me out? You can also call our hotline at 521-HELP, 401-521-HELP. It's often easier to write your exact question in an email because we can get back to you with an exact answer or get the right person on the phone for you. So I do recommend rismallbiz@commerceri.com. So let me just summarize because I know that was a lot. And if you're listening and you are an applicant, I'm going to go very quickly here. We need to be able to see your sam.gov registration for you to be processed for a check. Please go back into sam.gov and mark yourself public with your registration. If you prefer not to, if you're just not comfortable, we can work with that. Download your registration and send it to rismallbiz@commerceri.com. And if you have your sam.gov number and you haven't added it to your application, please go in to our commerceri.corerelief.com site and put that number in there. I'm going into all that detail because we very much want to get you paid if you are an eligible business. And we know it's a tough process across the whole United States for businesses. We hope to offer advice to the federal government on how to make this all easier in the future. But in the meantime, we want Rhode Island businesses to get paid. So I want to offer that update very quickly, Lieutenant Governor.
Yes, Secretary.
Yes, ma'am. Just a couple of other things, if I may.
Yes, sure.
I want to note that we have received applications for what we call the placemaking program. That's part of RI Rebounds. That's the program that is providing for improvements to outdoor and public spaces, event programming that will help to draw people outdoors in concert with the Take It Outside program, which is a separate program. But this one helps you improve public spaces, create the kinds of spaces that people on a permanent basis want to be outdoors, makes new attractions attractive, and makes existing locations even more attractive and COVID safe. And if you are an applicant, what I want to note was we got $7 million worth of applications for $3 million worth of funding. Hey, that's great.
Yeah.
A lot of places want to do this.
Yeah.
If you're out there and you're trying to find out, hey, where do we stand with all of this? You can also email rismallbiz@commerceri.com or just contact your commerce liaison. But thank you to all those cities and towns and nonprofits that are already helping people take it outside. And now with a new placemaking program are creating really permanent opportunities, Lieutenant Governor,
Yes.
for Rhode Islanders to enjoy our great outdoors. And with that, I turn it back to you.
Thank you. One of the things that I would like to see is the same thing that I asked Director Hayward about the applications for the SBA. I would like to see how every community is doing, which community is getting more applications. So
Yes.
I think it's going to be fun to have a fun competition to see which one
Very
is
much
getting
agreed.
more out there. So thank you so much, Secretary. Really
Thank you very
appreciate
much.
you stepping in, opening the meeting today, and also for all that great information that you provided. So thank you so much
Thank you very
for
much.
that. And I want to tell everyone, welcome again to this Small Business Town Hall. It's always great to have this opportunity to communicate with you and to share resources with the small business community. We just heard today from the Secretary of Commerce, Stephen Pryor, with so much information, important information about what's happening in Commerce RI. Next, we're going to be hearing from the Director of the Department of Labor and Training, Director Matt Weldon, is going to come and give us an update about what's happening in DLT. Oh, hi, Director.
Hi, Governor. How are you?
Good seeing you.
Hi, you as well. It's always good to be back.
So how things going?
Things are great. Things are great. Working hard every single day. You know, Secretary Pryor talked for a minute about our unemployment rate. You know, Rhode Island is leading the region and, you know, really have a strong rebound coming out of this pandemic. 3.4% is a great rate. It's lower than the U.S. rate for the first time in over a year. You know, things are going well. And you'll hear some people say, well, that's because the labor force participation is down. That may be true over a long period of time, looking back to, let's say, the recession, 2008 or so. Mm-hmm. But when you look at data that's comparable, meaning right before the pandemic, the labor force participation rate was 63.9% in February of 2020. And this month, it was 63.2%. We're only 0.7 of a point away. And we know that we had a double-digit increase in retirements during the pandemic. People that left the workplace, they chose to leave maybe a little sooner than they would have. And so that being said, we're not far off from where we were. When I say labor force participation, what do I mean? It means the people that are 16 and over, are they working or actively seeking work? And so if you're a full-time student or a full-time, you know, college or high school student or a retiree, you're still counted in that number. In the very best of times, we get to 68%, maybe a little higher, maybe 69. So we're not far off at all. We're right where we were pre-pandemic. The economy is rebounding strong. Rhode Island has regained 85% of the jobs that we lost. Industries are growing. In some industries like construction and manufacturing have more jobs than they had before the pandemic. So that's good.
That is good.
Does that mean I can go on vacation now? No, not yet.
Not yet.
So what else is happening at DLT? Well, we're trying to do all that we can to help employers find talent and help people get connected to good jobs. So if they go to the Governor's Workforce Board's new website, which is very nice, and it's simple. It's gwb.ri.gov. Go to that website. It should work just fine. It's brand new. It's nice and clean. And you can find all sorts of information about programs that we offer. We opened up recently the Incumbent Worker Training Grant Program, which allows employers to help with their incumbent workers. We reopened Work Immersion, which gives people work experience, like an internship, and we can subsidize those wages for a period of time. We've done some more things to open up job opportunities and to give people the opportunity to try out new jobs. Everything we do is listed on that website. Take a look. We know that there's a way that we can help. Lastly, unemployment. What's new in unemployment? We're down to about 7,000 people collecting, which is far below where we were before the pandemic. And we launched a new interface for the public to use called UI Online. We spent a good amount of time getting that ready. We tested it for a long time. We're confident that we had about a third of the people on unemployment using it before we went live. And then we said, okay, that's a good test. Let's go. The one challenge that we're running into with some people, especially people that use unemployment regularly, like they're seasonal workers, is they're having a little bit of a hard time getting past the security protocols. Mm-hmm. We know, after dealing with all the fraud that we dealt with during the pandemic, how important it is to protect the system. Yeah. So we do have security questions, not unlike what you may see if you ask for a credit report for yourself. You know, it'll ask you questions about personal things that only you should know. Mm-hmm. We are addressing those issues. We're working with the company that does that security for us. And we're going to open it up a little bit without compromising the integrity of the program.
Got it.
Doing what we think is best for the people of Rhode Island. And when I say some people, I had maybe 25 to 40 emails seeking help out of 7,000 claimants. So we're not talking about hundreds and thousands of people. We're talking about a small group, but we want to help every Rhode Islander. We want to serve everybody well. So we're going to adjust a little bit to do that. But the new system's working well. It's allowing people to see what's happening in their claim. It's letting them file online and not have to call, because we all know how much of a burden that can be with anybody. Things are going very well at DLT. 50 companies on Workshare. We're still over 50, which is great. And I'm sorry, LG, but it froze on my end. I don't know if that's me or you.
I'm back. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
And also, so had a challenge with my internet, but I'm right back here. Sorry.
Okay. So I'd be happy to take any questions if we have any.
Thank you. So Ben, do we have any questions? Let's see. No, it looks like we don't have any questions, but I wanted to ask you, this is something that was brought up to me as a question. How do we capture the people that are working in using like Uber and things like that? How do we capture that? How do we know about the workforce that is being working basically through Uber? It could be Uber Eats or DoorDash or any of those. How do we capture that?
So they're not part of the traditional economy. That's the gig economy, which is, has been emerging for some time and really is part of a more permanent restructuring of our economy. The best data we have came out of the pandemic, when people applied for pandemic unemployment assistance, which was like unemployment insurance for those people. They weren't covered by unemployment because they don't have an employer that paid taxes on their behalf. So the federal government wanted to help those people. They created a new program. That's the best way for us to know right now, without some kind of a registry of gig workers, who works in that gig economy. But it's a whole separate segment of the economy. And because they work in that gig economy, they don't have the same access to programs and benefits. They're not eligible for unemployment insurance anymore. They're not covered by TDI. They're not covered by workers' comp. Those are a lot of things that we take into consideration when we look at Rhode Island labor law. It would be interesting to see in the next 6 months, year, and years forward, how we can create systems to help those people and to either get them connected with, more stable opportunity, or connected with benefits that are portable that can support them while they do those gigs.
That sounds great. I think a lot of people probably are not thinking about that when they are just doing that as the only source of income, that they're not contributing to their TDI or any other protections that they may need in case they get ill or they're not able to work. So I'm looking forward to getting more involved in that work. So thank you so much.
Me too.
And I don't know if you mentioned anything during the time that I had issue with my internet about my favorite program, the Workshare. How we doing?
I said a lot of really interesting things in that time. I'm sorry that you missed them, Gov. 50 employers are engaged with us on Workshare right now. That's still probably 4 or 5 times as many as we would have pre-pandemic. So that's good.
That's good. That is good. I continue to promote the program, and I'm letting people know that is available. Thank you so much, Director. Thank you for all the information and for always participating in this forum and letting us know what's going on from the Department of Labor and Training. Really appreciate it.
It's my pleasure, and I understand you have some good people from the town of Warren coming up. So that's my town, so I'm going to hang out and watch and listen.
Oh, please stay. You should stay around because I was there. I love going to Warren, so that's what we have next. We have the town administrator for the town of Warren, and also we have the council president of the town of Warren. So we're gonna hear about what's happening in the business community in Warren. So that's what we have.
I'll be in the background listening. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much. Thank you. So as you heard, we're going to hear right now from the town administrator from the town of Warren, and that's Kate Misha, and we're going to hear also from the Warren Town Council President John Henley Thank you so much, both of you, for joining us today. It's such a pleasure to have this opportunity to talk to you and hear what's happening with the business community in Warren. I was there last week. It was amazing. I was able to spend some time with the beautiful weather, beautiful day. I was able to have a tour of the town building, also the city hall. So thank you so much both for joining us, and I want to hear how things are going. Let me start with the town manager, Kate.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me on today. Always happy to talk about the great town of Warren. So, we're a town that definitely, our businesses obviously struggled through COVID, but I really think that we're coming out of this stronger than we went in. We have a really vibrant small business community, and we're doing everything that we can to support them, obviously with the help of the state programs that are available right now and the federal programs. So just to touch really quickly on a couple of those things that we're working on. One of the things is as Secretary Pryor mentioned, the Take It Outside money. We took advantage of the first round of that funding and were awarded some money, and in turn went out and provided some heaters and some other things to outdoor businesses so they could expand their business outside. We also invested in some public art projects, and now we have a public art tour where people can come to town and view some of the artwork that's been put up around town, primarily on electric boxes. So it's really interesting. Each of the boxes was designed and painted by a different local artist, and they all have a QR code on them. So you can scan the QR code and you can find out more about the artist and about the story behind the artwork. Right. So just another thing to bring people to town and, encourage them. Obviously, we have great restaurants. I think that's what Warren is really.
Yes, you do.
Known for. But we also have some great retailers, and, it's a great place to come in and spend a day or spend a night and have dinner and then take a walk around and see what else there is to find. We also, we obviously received some of the American Rescue Plan Act funds. We're a small town, so we have a smaller budget probably than most communities do, but the town council has set a really high priority on supporting small businesses. So $250,000 of the ARPA funds have been designated for storefront improvement grants. So businesses that are located within our qualified census tract, which is the downtown area, basically, they can apply for up to $25,000 to improve their storefronts. And that's a grant. It's not, they don't have to repay it. They just have to file an application with the town, and then we can provide them some funds to spruce up the outside of their business. So we're having some really great success with that program, and looking forward to getting all that money out on the street to see the benefits.
That sounds great. I have to tell you, when I was there last week, I was able to go into the Inkfish bookstore. Amazing place. I was able to buy some books there. So I love it. It had such a great time. But let me just turn over to the council president. Mr. Council President, thank you so much for joining. You know that I have a special place in my heart for people at the city council presidents also. I know how tough of a job you have. And I'm so grateful that you're taking the time to join us. Tell us how things are going.
Well, thank you very much for having us here today. It's a pleasure. And first off, I want to thank my town manager and all of my town staff. They really have done a great job throughout the pandemic and dispersing the funds and paying attention to the needs of our small businesses. And Warren, yeah, we're very eclectic. We have a few larger companies, but our backbone are the mom and pop stores, the little store that you walk in, one door out. We have the fantastic restaurants. And we do have some room for some new people. If anybody's out there listening and they want to come to Warren, we've got a couple of open storefronts. And with the streetscape program or the grant money for finishing up the storefronts, I think that's really going to help quite a bit to actually fill those empty spaces that we have. And we just keep moving forward. It's a very, as I said, a very eclectic place. You can find some normal stuff and you can find some strange stuff in some of our shops, but it's never a dull moment. So please come on down and visit us. Thanks.
It is so beautiful to go and going for a walk, going in and out of the different shops. I think if anyone that's out there that's watching have not done that, you have to make sure that you get yourself to Warren. It's just a beautiful place to be, and it's such a nice environment for business in the business district right there. So you all are doing an amazing job, and I'm pretty sure that those stores fronts that are still available are going to be gone soon.
I hope so.
Thank you so much. Thank
Thank
you
you.
both of you for joining us today. Just know that this is a forum that is always available whenever you want to come in, talk about what's going on, or let us know about any program that you are promoting. We're here to help you get the word out. So thank you both for your time and for being here today.
Thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Thanks. So thank you everyone for joining today. As a reminder, I want to make sure that you remember that we have still funding available at the Rent Relief RI. There is funding available if you're a renter and is struggling to pay your rent. We have that funding still available. Make sure that you go to Rent Relief RI or either go through the Rhode Island Housing website. You can get the link also. Make sure that you applied. If you lost income due to COVID within the last 24 months, there is opportunity for you to get access to funding to pay rent. If you are a landlord that is struggling right now because your tenant is not able to pay, make sure that you go and you apply for the Rent Relief RI. You're able to apply also as a landlord. Also, I want to remind everyone that the pandemic is not over. We have been able to do a lot of progress because of the number of vaccinations that we have been able to have here in the state of Rhode Island. The New York Times is rating Rhode Island as being number one on vaccination. Okay, and we are number 3 in the nation for the booster. So I just want to remind everyone, first, if you have not gotten your vaccine, you can get the vaccine. It's available throughout the state of Rhode Island in different locations. We always share the locations also in our social media pages. But please make sure also to get your booster. This is very important that you make sure that you get vaccinated. And if you did already, get the booster shot, because that's the only way how you're gonna be able to be protected against complications with the COVID virus. We know if we see the news, we have been watching that the numbers are going up. So just a reminder to everyone, the state of Rhode Island, we have over 80% of our population fully vaccinated. So that puts us in a different place than where we were last year. That's why our economy is open, and that's why we're continuing to move forward. But I want to remind everyone that there's not a mandate for masks, but just use common sense. If you're not feeling well, stay home. If you have to be out, please wear a mask. Protecting people around you is very important. Also, if you're in a crowded place and it's too crowded, there's not enough ventilation, you should wear a mask also. It's not a mandate, but it's an option for you to do. And the number one thing I want to ask you is please be kind. Be kind to the people that are wearing a mask, even if you don't believe in it. Be kind to the people that are wearing a mask because you don't know what is the health condition that they have. And be kind because you don't know if they're wearing a mask because they're not feeling well and they're trying to protect you. So please make sure to be kind to one another and respect everyone's decisions to either wear the mask, yes or no. So with that, I just want to say thank you to all of you that join us today. I saw the comments from Tina. Tina's always present and active. Tina from RAMP, making sure that every small business know that RAMP is available to let you know how you can make your business accessible. So make sure that you reach out to Tina and RAMP. She's been commenting here in the comment section, and her contact is going to be also there. Thank you all of you for joining us today. Enjoy the rest of the day.